Ottawa, and I finished my degree in Ottawa. And I went to University of Ottawa. It was a bilingual university, so I took half my courses in French, and I got a science degree, kinesiology degree, and I studied with a massage therapist for a while because I wanted to do massage.
Oh, look, we already get into red flags 20 seconds in. Yeah, so Jordan's wife, Jordan Peterson, his wife Tammy Peterson, yeah, she was a massage therapist. Again, guys, I don't know if you've watched Kevin Samuels, but it's a red flag if your girl is a massage therapist. And the reason is because her job is literally putting her hands on men, on half naked or more than half naked men. So it gives many women the the contact with men that allows her to cheat, and she has the plausible deniability to say she's just working, right? And the odd hours also allow her to cheat. So, okay, anyway.
Afterwards, and I didn't go to massage school, but I took weekend courses.
This is her college years.
And started offering massage therapy to people. And at that time, there weren't that many massage therapists around because it was about 19.
You see, so she was in her early 20s, and what are the girls doing in their early 20s? Well, what they're doing in their early 20s is they're getting into situations where lots of men they are being given lots of attention by men. You see? So again, guys, these problems didn't start in 2022. This is Tammy Peterson. She's like in her, I think, like 60s or late 50s, whatever. So even when she was in her 20s 30 years ago, right? Or whatever, 40 years ago, still there were problems, you see, with girls getting the attention of lots of men, doing sketchy stuff. But let's see, maybe she'll reveal more.
It was 1987, and
okay, there you go.
Yeah, I got people
super new.
I got people coming out of hospitals who were dying, coming to me for massage, for some relief. It was really quite a time to be offering those services.
So she's, again, this is what's it called? Virtue signaling for the camera. So yes, I'm sure as a massage therapist that she helped some people who were in dire need of help, right? But it also, on the other hand, provides you with the things that I just described.
I had one woman, she did pass away. She had lupus and passed away.
Oh.
I had another woman, she
Sad.
was in a cancer treatment. She came to see me. She was okay, but hurting. And I had and I taught yoga.
Oh, look, another red flag.
When I first went to university.
Oh my God. Yeah, so you see? So again, there's no problem with a girl doing yoga, right? Doing yoga is fantastic. It's very great for the body, great exercise, good flexibility, clears your head, it's really good. But the issue is that she's a yoga instructor. So what does that mean? Well, what it means is that, you have classrooms, right, where you have men and women, and you're teaching them. So basically you're in a room full of sweaty men that want to get laid, and you're attracting their attention by being the teacher. You see what I'm saying? So already it's two things that are her seeking the attention of men. You see? Actively. And Jordan married this. Jordan married this without having previous experience.
Studied yoga since I was 13 years old. My aunt introduced me to yoga one summer when we were tearing down the pig barn and doing yoga lessons in the morning. It was quite a summer. I took the yoga and went home, and I just did yoga every day.
That is so cool.
I thought, I don't know, it seemed like something to do. And I thought I might need this someday.
Indeed.
Yeah, well,
right?
That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. So I always had that in my mind, that I would need to know how to take care of myself when I was older.
Oh, by the way, notice how much makeup Michaela has compared to her mother. Now, I don't know about you, but I actually find it more attractive when the girl has less makeup. So even though her mother is obviously old, I still find her mother to be more attractive than her daughter, who's, you know, putting on so many airs, right, with all the makeup she's using. To me, it reeks of you know, maybe fakeness, but more insecurity. Michaela's like, she's a beautiful girl. She doesn't need all of that, right? And so it screams to me of a person that like isn't fully comfortable with themselves. Oh, and notice on the left is the Wonder Woman poster. Like, okay.
That life would get, I didn't know life would get complicated, but I didn't know that, but I sensed that there would be a time where life would be too much for me and I would have to have skills to cope. Right? And
yeah, well, that certainly happened.
Thank goodness I did those things, because I think those things they took me through high school successfully, and otherwise I don't know how successful I would have been.
This is very wholesome, this part here. So no complaints there. Hello and welcome to the Helios blog. My name is Helios, here for another reaction video. If you're new to the channel, liking the content, please hit the sub, hit all for notifications. And if you'd like to support me, I do have a Patreon with exclusive content. It's patreon.com/theheliosblog. Just subscribe to any tier. Any level of support is appreciated. So here we're looking at Tammy and Michaela Peterson. And here's something that I have to remark, okay? Notice how the older woman here is so much more wholesome. Do you get the impression, guys, that one girl has a much lower end count than the other? Because I do. I think Tammy has a much lower end count than her daughter. Just the way, like, the level of genuineness and the level of femininity just kind of exudes out of Michaela's mother. Like, I don't know how to, like, if Michaela acted this way, I think she would still be married to her first husband and she wouldn't have any issues. She's like, Michaela's not feminine the way her mother's feminine. That's the impression I get. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree.
You know, I'd come home at night after drinking and do a
red flag
yoga pose or two and realize I'd drank too much. You know, I mean, it would bring me back to myself all the time.
Yeah, but she was out drinking to excess. You see? That's another red flag. You see, so already we've got, she's a physiotherapist, a massage therapist. So she was like, you know, dealing with men, like a bunch of men. She's, yeah, like drinking to excess. Like, again, these are things that, you know, on the surface, like she mentions them casually, right? But I know what they mean, right?
Just where I was. So it's like, you know, when you balance, when you weigh something, you get it to stop at 0 first and then you weigh it. That's what I was like when I do my yoga. It would bring me back to myself and I could reflect, okay, I'm doing okay today, or I'm really not balanced today, or I could, and then I did that all through high school so that I didn't ever really go too far one way or another. It kind of centered me. And I'm really grateful for that, because high school can be a disaster for some people.
High school's really hard.
High school's really hard. I mean, people...
Okay, just, like, look at the comparison, guys. Like, who looks happy and who looks sad here? Like, can you see, guys? Like, the mom... Okay, sure, she's old and the effects of age have affected her, right? And, you know, she doesn't look maybe as youthful as she did. But do you get the sense that she's okay? Because I get the sense she's okay. Whereas her daughter she just seems sad to me. I don't know if anybody else is getting this impression by the way they're looking, the way they're talking, but that's the impression I'm getting, guys.
High schools are, even the teachers seem to be confused. I mean, it's not just the kids are confused. And I don't know, you know, I grew up in a very rural place in a public school, but I don't think it's all that different anywhere you go. that kids are trying to find their way, and there isn't a lot of guidance that they can listen to unless
Indeed.
this was old sage. The yoga, this is centuries old. It was something that had some staying power.
Falling into some traps here.
It wasn't the church. And the church, I went to the church, but I didn't get a lot from the minister that was there, and there wasn't, and they're just, although my grandmothers were religious, my mom didn't practice.
Right. So again, this kind of stuff, like Jordan says, to get into like a Christian marriage, and Christian marriages turn out better, etc. And his own wife is saying this stuff. You see what I'm saying, guys? Like, you can't make this shit up, right? Like, again, she has demonstrated numerous red flags, though she is much more wholesome than her daughter, and this is like clear. I think any man who's worth his salt, who has self-respect, would choose the 20-year-old equivalent of Tammy Peterson over her own daughter, right? And we can see the destructive effects of Western culture just through this interview, right? The cultural difference. Like, just look, the mother is feminine, not excessive makeup, talking about how she exercises regularly, no serious health problem. I mean, I know she had, a terrible illness, but that was later in life, right? It wasn't something that, she had when she was in her 20s, right? Whereas her daughter has had all kinds of issues, etc. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, back when the culture wasn't cancerous, right? And again, the genie's out of the bottle. The culture's not going back, right? And, to a lot of people, I'm sure it makes them sad, right? Okay, let's continue.
So we went to church as little kids, and then as teenagers, not so much, and then left the church.
There you go.
And when I went to Montreal, I went to church for a year there, to a United Church, and at Easter I went to a Catholic church, and it was all in French. All they said was, forgive me, Monseigneur, through the whole thing. They were all these Frenchmen were wearing pastel suits and it was Easter, they all looked like Easter eggs walking around the church. It was quite an experience, but I went all by myself, right? So, because George wasn't a church goer.
Okay. So let's go. So you were in Ottawa, you finished your degree, you're doing massage therapy.
Wait.
You're now fairly bilingual.
Did she say that she went to an event with lots of men without her husband? Or I guess that would be her boyfriend. Again, like, you see what I'm saying? There's these subtle red flags, right? But again, it's more hidden, right? And still the woman is more feminine, right? But I mean, there you go. So just goes to show that, like, you're not escaping this. You got to vet very carefully. You got to listen very carefully to what these girls are saying, because they'll try to, protect their reputation at all cost, but it comes out, right? It comes out.
Now I'm fairly bilingual, and Jordan gives me a call. He's in Montreal.
When was the last time you talked to him?
I used to see him at Christmas, I'd come home at Christmas every year, and then I didn't for a couple of years.
Sounds like the friend zone to me.
Then he said he was going to move to Ottawa, and I thought, that'd be nice. And then he didn't. He got a job in Edmonton, so he didn't come. So then I kind of thought, well, I'm just going to pick up my life and go forward.
Yeah.
So I went out with a fellow and lived with him for a couple of years. And
look, she just brushes that off. She's gonna go past. But look, so Jordan, right, who's idolized this girl for years, right? Then he tells her that he's not going to move to Ottawa, and she immediately, light switch, just bam, goes and lives with another guy. So you know what that means, right? It means she was sleeping with another guy regularly for 2 years. That's what it means. So again, as I said, you see the subtle red flags, they come out, and then bam, there it is, right? So she said she's a small town girl, but then she ends up living with a guy for 2 years. You see what I'm saying, guys?
And then I was finishing my degree, and I got a phone call from Jordan that he was in Montreal, that he was doing his PhD, and he was going to McGill. And so I went there for Thanksgiving in 1986.
So again, she hasn't said if she was still living with that guy or not while this event was happening.
And he looked like he was doing all right.
And he was a lot taller.
Well, he was a lot taller a year after high school. I met him in Fairview. He got out of his car, and he got out of his car for like a second or two longer than usual because he was a foot taller. And he still wasn't marryable at that point, though. He was pretty much a wild man at that point. But once I got to McGill...
Okay. It wasn't marryable. Is that why you went and lived with a guy for 2 years? Because he wasn't marryable? Again, like, you see what I'm saying? Why don't you shack up with the guy that you know what I'm saying? The guy you were actually attracted to, quote unquote. Like, do you see, guys? Like, there it is. It's like, it's not subtle. Well, I mean, sorry, it is subtle, but it's there. Do you see what I'm saying? He was the beta in waiting, basically. And also, did you notice the height thing? It's like, girls have this 6'6" thing, right? 6 feet, six-pack abs, and 6-figure income, right? And so he was still a PhD, so he didn't have all of the 666 that I needed in order to settle for him. So I didn't. Like that's the implication here, guys. Like there it is. Like you can't avoid this kind of stuff if you know what to listen for.
He looked like he wasn't quite as much of a wild man, and that he was getting a life, and that he had a plan. And I thought that there was a possibility that maybe we could make a go of it, because he had already asked me to marry him a couple of times by then.
Oh man, this is like the episode of what's it called? You know, the show Friends from the 1990s, right? Where it's like if we're 30, right, and unmarried by then, would you marry me, right? So what has she gone and done? So she did yoga. She was a yoga instructor. She was a massage therapist. So two places where you're getting the attention of men regularly. She was, at university, so I guess that's a third way. She was obviously away from the guy. She literally was with a guy, living with him for 2 years. So basically sleeping with that guy for 2 years. So again, she's spending her time getting the attention of many men, right? Exercising to be beautiful so that more men give her attention, then finally living with a guy and sleeping with that guy regularly. And then when she's had her fun and ready to settle down, where there's Jordan, who's not so much of a quote-unquote wild man. So what does wild man mean? Well, it means he doesn't have a nice job, he doesn't have a steady income, he doesn't have a life plan. Like he doesn't have all of the things that he needs in order to give her the maximum security. So do you understand how Jordan's wife has been living alpha seed beta need? She lived that and got the best part of both worlds. Do you understand? And I mean, you see, on the surface she appears very feminine, very nice. So I can see why Jordan might be attracted to such a woman. I think many men would be. But don't be fooled by the external facade. Look at the behavior underneath. You see?
When? At Christmas?
At New Year's. I think at New Year's I said yes. That was the last time. But
What?
Yeah.
I don't remember hearing about this. I thought he wrote it to you in a letter.
he did. He wrote me a letter and asked me to marry him there. And I thought, is this guy for real?
Yeah, kind of. I'm like, that's not very romantic. Where's the knee and the ring?
Yeah, it's like, well, we did live 3,000 miles apart.
Yeah.
There's more. Let me go to Rollo here. Buffers, right? So Jordan is out here living his pen pal dream, wanting to marry this girl who's living 3,000 miles away. He's wanting to marry her. not going after girls in his vicinity, not getting other options, not, etc. And she literally pushes him away until, like, I wonder what age they got married at. I wonder if they say it here. But my prediction is it's 28 plus, right? So it's after the 18 to 23 rock star phase, when you have the most attention validation from men possible. And then it's after living with a guy for 2 years. So probably she was, getting maximum attention from 18 to 23, living together with this guy for 2 years. And then, Jordan starts coming in with his proposals and she rejects a few times because she's not done having fun. And then finally at 28, when she feels that a clock is ticking, which, by the way, it's been ticking for about 10 years at that point, then she decides to marry. You see, guys, she's living the full alpha seed beta need, and Jordan is unfortunately the beta in this story. And then you can see what happens when you have a beta marriage, right? What happens to the daughter? So the husband can have all of the best intentions in the world, and this can be the result.
Back then, to call home was it wasn't, you didn't have a cell phone, plan or anything. It cost
kind of
money
romantic.
for long distance, and I didn't have any extra money, neither did he.
Yeah, and it is kind of romantic.
Yeah, he wrote me a letter. I think that used to be the way it was
Really?
People would write letters. I imagine, yeah.
Oh.
A lot of letter writing, love letters. Remember? You've heard of them?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he wrote me, I think he was probably going to Europe and wanted to know if I wanted to go with him and also get married. But I thought maybe he was joking because it was written in kind of a joking way.
He's probably nervous.
Yeah,
he could pass it off as a joke if you said no, just in case.
Right. That's right. So I didn't quite know how to take it, so I just kind of left that there.
You said no. The lie detector test determined that was a lie. That's definitely not the reason why she said no. She said no because she wasn't done having fun, right? Because she knew this guy was a guaranteed option, and if she could get a better option before, then she would take it, which is why she was living with a different guy before him, and it didn't work out, right? Anyway.
And one time he asked me, and I said maybe.
Wow.
I wasn't ready yet. I didn't want to say no.
I wasn't ready, and I didn't want to say no. You see, guys, there it is. She's telling on herself. Guys, there it is. She's telling on herself. Literally, out of the horse's mouth. I didn't want to say no because I did want to marry him, but I knew he was a guaranteed option, so I kept him around while I was sleeping around with other men, and even so brazen as to live with another man. Meanwhile, Jordan's pining over this girl. You see, guys? Don't be Jordan. That's what I'm telling you.
Ready to say yes. I still had to see which
How
way
old
his
were
life
you?
went. Well, when we got married.
Wait. Did she say I still wanted to see how his life went? Oh my God. Yeah. Again, this is more. This is a classic as well. It says, women don't care about your struggle. They wait at the finish line and sleep with the winners. You see? So she was waiting to see. She was hedging her bets. She's like, okay, if he's successful and becomes a successful university professor, my life is set. I mean, he's kind of a loser, and he pines over me, and he'll bend over backwards for me, and I think that's kind of weak. But it's okay. I'll still marry him if he's stable enough. You see, guys. You see what I'm saying? Imagine that's why your girl married you. It's not out of genuine desire. It's not out of love. It's you know what? He's successful enough. My life is set. You know what? I'll take him. I don't really like him, but like whatever. And again, this might explain why they only have one child, right? Because it's just giving him the child so that he can be placated while she can fulfill her strategy, right? Again, like, yes, I'll bet you that their bedroom fun life is, Okay. Anyway, let's continue here.
7.
So did he ask you the first time when you were like 25 or something?
Oh, maybe 23.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
That's pretty young.
That's pretty young.
No, it's
Yeah.
not.
I
That's
didn't
when
know
they
that.
should have gotten
Oh
married.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't know it started like that early. Like the asking.
Well, the asking? Yeah, the asking started kind of early.
You just tortured him for like 4 years?
Yeah, when he started to, it looked like he was going to start to have some girlfriends. I married him.
Haha, so funny, so great, so awesome. Isn't it so strong and empowered just using the guy? Yeah. So here's, and again, this correlates directly with Rollo's thing, the SMV peak, right? So Jordan asked the girl to marry when she's at her peak, right? When she's 23, right? 18 to 23 is when women are at the most attractive. And then she said she married him when it looked like he was going to start to get some girlfriends, right? So what that means is that Jordan was unable to get girlfriends because he's only like attractive in the beta sense, which, you know, happens as you become, you know, 30-ish, right? Your money's up, etc. So basically what she's saying is that when he became a good beta prospect to other girls, I took him before another girl would use him for the same reason that I used him for. It's like, it's okay. Do you see how the pragmatism is there? It's not out of love. It's not out of, you know, a sense of loyalty. It's not a genuine desire because she was living with another guy and sleeping with him. So the whole time this girl was like Jordan's mom, Jordan's, what? It's funny that I called her his mom, but anyway. So the whole time Jordan's wife is out getting attention from men, you know, teaching classes where there's sweaty men around that can talk to her, literally living with another man, sleeping with another man. Like, do you see how she's given away all this information? Oh, right, and she went out drinking by herself, you know, and drinking enough to be inebriated. Do you think she wasn't partaking in some of this fruit, you know, that's available? Of course she was. So, like, and then when Jordan was about to be taken by another girl, when his SMV started to go up, right, or I guess his RMV, his relationship market value, when it started to go up, bam, that's when she took him, right? So it's literally beta in waiting. I'm going to give my absolute most fertile best years, I'm going to give them to another man, right? And then when I've had my fun and I'm ready to settle down, you can be that guy for me. That's the story here. Utterly and completely ridiculous. And I feel sorry for Jordan that he experienced that. And I feel even more sorry that he doesn't know that this is how his wife feels. There is no genuine desire here.
As soon as you saw other women moving in, that's funny.
Yeah. He was just starting to feel like confident and everything, and I married him.
Okay.
And she's like, isn't it so great that I fulfilled my biological strategy? You see how successful I am? And then both the wife and the daughter are laughing about what an idiot the dad is. Like, Homer Simpson created this. All right, and the matriarchy just summed up in one phrase, right? And again, guys, what you don't know will hurt you. That's literally the moral of this story. All right, guys, we're going to end the episode there. So again, if you're new to the channel, liking the content, please hit the sub, hit all for notifications, and if you'd like to support me further, I do have a Patreon with exclusive content. It's patreon.com/theheliosblog. Just subscribe to any tier. Any level of support is appreciated. Thank you so much for listening, guys, especially if you took the time out of your busy day to listen to my content. I do really appreciate it. You guys are awesome, and I will see you next time.